Hello everyone, welcome to another video with me on Berets, and before we get started, just a quick note about this. This is not my official unit review video. I'm hoping to get that sorted out in the very near future because I think it would make for a lot of videos that people would like to see. But really more than anything, I just kind of want to get it, I kind of want to figure out just a little bit more of my setup, a little bit more of the name I want to go with, and then we'll be good to go. So, that being said, let's start the video, shall we? And yeah, here we are. Glaciela is here, Lasswell is here, and a brand new archer that I absolutely adore is here with a new event. But let's talk units. Let's talk specifically about these three because the way you're looking currently at the banners is you have a couple of options. First of all, if you're looking for Lasswell, Lasswell does have his own banner. It is split with rain, but hey, that's not a bad combination. 2 URs on a single banner. I still say that Lasswell is the easier to get, and that's not just based on my video. That is general rates, I feel like, and the banners that have been there. And Glaciela is the only UR, and Loralie is the joint on that banner. But continuing on, yeah, let's talk about these characters, because all three of these characters are really interesting for different reasons, and potentially for different content as well. So I'm going to start with my girl, Loralie, who I have definitely been waiting for, and I know there are other archers in the game, but quite a few of them have underperformed and aren't super interesting, and definitely are not this pretty. But regardless, taking a look at Loralie's earlier, I noted that the archer and the Viking composition was very interesting, while the very weird inclusion of knight. Knight is just a strange thing here. It doesn't seem like it adds anything to her, and yeah, it really doesn't feel like there is anything extra to her with that. Like, it doesn't bring anything to her class that seems really good. It doesn't provide any kind of tactile advantage. It's just okay. Taking a look, let's first of all talk about her weaknesses to get that out of the way. Her biggest weakness is that she is just not good against a ton of damage types. Slash and piercing, as well as magic, all end up being a particularly big weak point for her. And if you consider the fact that Lasswell was added to the game, who's an Ice UR slash character, as well as just Agrius, Gilgamesh, quite a few characters with some range options and the ice element, she is in a potentially dangerous situation, much to the same way that some of the other MRs who have recently come to the game. Just in general, she kind of has this weakness to her that doesn't make her particularly that great. Noticing more on her strong side, though, she does have a lot, and I mean just a lot of critical in her kit. Like, she has a very high hit rate and a very high chance of causing a critical hit to the enemy as well, just naturally. Not only that, but Viking provides a lot of basically what I thought she would end up getting, a lot of DPS. And that is good. That is something that she really is going to need to be able to super compete. The most, of course, ability that everybody is kind of interested in is her Diamond AoE, which I just gotta find. It's somewhere on here. There it is. She has a nice little AoE attack with some good range on it. She also has some good archer abilities that will be able to hit the enemy for a good amount of damage. And of course, with the bow event currently, she's pretty darn strong. I have to say that overall, she is, though, a type of unit that needs to kill her enemy before they get close. The enemies bunched together, she can potentially do a lot of damage, and she's an accurate character too. I cannot undersell the value of accuracy in this game, since it seems to be that a high amount of enemies are just evade just pure evasion, and that makes it really difficult to really get a lot. But yeah, looking at it, she has some range and accuracy up passive. She has HP up and attack up, which is a pretty nice little combination. It'll make her a little bit more tanky, but really that attack should get her pretty nice. And you can farm that really nice +5 bow if you really want. So taking my overall evaluation of Loralie is decent. For an MR unit that's like a lower cost, she's good. She's not the archer that I was kind of secretly hoping that she would be the Thalia of archers at a lower rarity. That didn't end up being the case, but I would definitely build her more as a fun project than a serious project, but there is some potential here in this unit, and I will definitely be building her when I have slightly more resources able to do that. Because, talking about our second character of the night, we're going to be taking a look at Lasswell. Lasswell is definitely an interesting character with a little bit of a split on his evaluation. For one thing, I don't think this character is ever going to be good in lapping stages where, you know, you're just repeat farming. His movement options are particularly bad, and overall his speed so far hasn't exactly wowed me. He just doesn't have any of the support needed to really feel like he's going to get a ton of speed. But yeah, that's kind of like that. Low mobility, and a lot of his abilities don't have a ton of range on them. And that ends up being that's his big weakness. Like, overall, that's just his big weakness. Now, on his strength side, first of all, slash attack. Obviously, there are a ton of slash units in the game, so building up a chain with this kind of character, not only that, but a elemental weapon type chain has now become really possible for the ice element, because you have to remember, we have Gilgamesh, we have... Sorry, just blanking on this in the middle of a video. We have Agrius, and now we have Lasswell as well. And not only that, if you already have Medenia too, Medenia can just sink in really nice there. You know, you open with a Medenia limit burst, lowering ice resistance, and then you just ice slash, ice slash, ice slash, ice slash. I think ice may have become one of the more powerful elements in the game, just from the inclusion of so many ice characters lately, and the same damage type. So I think that Lasswell here will pair off pretty nicely in that sense. His defense penetration on some of his abilities and in his kit is just really good too. Again, lots of people run tanks. Tanks is almost a tank is basically a major composition, and that is really where Lasswell feels like he excels at. In PvP content, Lasswell is going to be terribly good for having that. Not only that, but also because in his kit, he has a pretty unique ability that I gotta say I'm a big fan of. Let's see. That's his damage one. I'll find it quick-ish. Nope. It's always just a question of where on the map it actually is. This one. Now it is 40 TP, but big thing is you can use it twice, and it reduces an incoming attack's damage to 0. Basically, you set the AI will probably prioritize this in most cases, and on the JP side, you could just auto AI off any other ability to make sure that he uses this in arena. Tanks a incoming, AOE, limit burst, anything like that, and then Lasswell gets to strike, because that's the thing. Like, the enemy is going to get close enough that Lasswell can get in and start getting shots in, and that's a really big thing, potentially, when you're against a mage. Whether it's a Medenia or a Kryl, getting through their defense is a big thing that will lead you to success. And to that point, Lasswell also has really good accuracy in his kit, which makes him strong against some of the more popular characters in JP, particularly Venera is the one that comes to mind, where he can reliably hit other characters, and that is valuable. overall, Lasswell has some really nice damage output and really good team options too. There aren't a ton of fire options out there right now. There's basically Christmas Mashley and Mon's father, Old, who are like a couple of your like fire URs plus rain. But from my experience in JP, there's plenty of other options in terms of fights out there that don't have fire URs in it, which could just mean you just pair him with Agrius, who's also not a super fast or good movement character, but has really terrific defense, and then a third character of your choosing, maybe an Ayaka, maybe someone with a healing option, and this might be just a really, really solid team. I think Lasswell's overall evaluation probably going to be just really good for a lot of challenge content, and I think he's going to also be really good for PvP content too. Either way, I think Lasswell gets a pretty high recommendation from me. If you're into the PvP side, or just if you're looking at him in general, really strong character. I think he's really strong kit. Definitely in the future would recommend him. And the last but not least is the star of the three characters, and I say that completely unabashedly, knowing exactly what I'm talking about, because Glaciela is the real prize of this entire group of characters. And it isn't overly surprising to make an incredibly popular character super strong, and that is what I feel like they have done here. Glaciela, of course, one of the longer-running characters in the story that a lot of people have been waiting. She was halfway through the voting competition on the JP side in the #1 spot. A ton of people have been waiting for her, and now here she is. And it turns out she's just really good everywhere. I think she is insanely good for a ton of different options. Her evaluation that I give her on WAP, as well as PvP, I think is really strong. She has really good range options. She has defense piercing, but more than that, she also has like a fair amount of quickness passives that you could choose from. But more than that, she also has pretty good range of movement with that ninja. I told you that ninja was going to be really important, and it is. Ninja just gives her an extra move and jump, which will give her a good way to close in on the enemy. Her stats are also really nice too. Her HP is strangely way better than I thought it was going to be. She has just that great thing. And not only that, this comes on the heel of a fair amount of great water characters. You have, for instance, Christmas, Ramada here on the JP side, who would do well here with the water chaining aspect. Adira, one of the stronger healers that can also be a really, really good damage dealer with Water Gust Spellblade. And last but not least, Miranda, who has Magic Jammer and some water in her kit too. So much like Ice, I wouldn't say it's quite as strong as Ice, just on guesstimates. But I really think that water is starting to become a super solid element. So talking about her weakness really quickly, and I realize I didn't show this on Lasswell, but this is a primary weakness I feel that is more like Lasswell is just low mobility that's really going to get on. Here, Frederica is a potential issue. She is weak to shooting as well as magic, which alt makes both Celir as well as, or Saria, or Thalia, or whatever she's called on whatever version you're playing. There are some counters to this character already. And this isn't surprising. War of the Visions feels pretty balanced in the fact that you kind of have to pick your fights carefully. Because you're not going to win. No team in Arena, PvP, or any content in the game is a sure-all, hey, just throw this out there and it works and you're done kind of thing. So yeah, that is her big weakness, but looking at her kit, she has really good aim with good firepower, with defense penetration, piercing style attacks as well, which can potentially go good with some other units, such as maybe you want to pair her off with Eileen, not for the elemental, but for the piercing style damage, or Victoria as well, or even Lasswell, who has Dragoon abilities too. There are a good amount of pierce damage dealers at this point, and you can definitely pair her off with a whole bunch of different people. Not only that, she has a ability called Triple Piercer, which not only connects with piercing, but also has the water attribute on it too, which makes a really fantastic way of building a elemental chain. But yeah, her overall stats across the board ended up being pretty nice. She has in her kit some extra power-ups to like her master ability plus her board ability, 20% attack each, which ends up being insanely good. And most of her damage passives also come with quickness too, which is a great little combination. Overall, I gotta say, yeah, just to wrap this up a little bit quicker, yeah, give a 100% highest value of this set of characters to our girl here, Glaciela. She is just insanely strong with I wish that the only problem that I also generally have with her is I kind of wish there was another spear weapon, maybe one that was water elemental. But you take what you can get in this game right now, and hopefully there will be a shiny spear for her in the future of a UR quality that I will definitely farm up for her. But yeah, all three characters I think are generally particularly strong. Lasswell is particularly strong, Loralie is particularly strong, and Glaciela being one of the strongest characters in the game for sure. Not surprising, not unexpected, but definitely a welcome one. And just to close off this video, because I did kind of miss it, here is Lasswell stats. You can see he's a little weak to piercing, more weak to magic. I guess rain just counters him. But they're on the same pattern, so it's okay. Anyway, so that's all for now. Tell me, are you Globalers excited for these future units? Let me know in the comments, and I'll try and read them. Very busy time right now. But thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.